What's up, guys? It's Rick on Flip with Rick, and today we're talking about if you can't get a wholesale deal after this live stream, I might have to shake you, or I don't know. I guess you're screwed. So I want to walk through today on actually, we're going to go through the mechanics of getting a deal, and I'm going to show you the urgency, and you guys have to bring the commitment because I find a lot of people struggle in this, but like honestly, you just need some good old-fashioned instructions, just like we give you at freewholesaling.com, and you are going to have to take ownership for your actions. So if you're in for it, let's get into it. A couple things. If you want to connect with us, number one, go over to freewholesaling.com and just put it up real quick so I don't forget. And you can get all the information you want over there. Me and Zach teach a 100% free course. We're the only contributors to wholesaling that actually do this without a price tag. That's right. We play the long game. Everybody else can take the short game. I really don't care. I've been in wholesaling 23 years. I make a ton of money through real estate, wholesaling, flipping, you name it, I do it. And I've taught my son the same skill sets, and I want to teach you. Go over to freewholesaling.com. Number two, if you got a question, put it in the comments. I try to get to them as many as possible. We keep this live stream a connection to you. I don't have 400 people behind the scenes running a studio because I'm busy wholesaling. And the reality is all my efforts are spent on wholesaling. And then I also use social media as a marketing channel to connect with you guys by giving you the absolute best advice so you can do deals with me. I have to bring you the best. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time because I don't sell a course. I know it's shocking when someone doesn't sell a course in wholesaling, but somebody had to start it. So we have started a movement here and we want to get you guys going. So I've taken away your biggest excuse because right off the bat, I know you're going to go, I need a bunch of money and capital to get started in wholesaling. BS. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to be a little bit tougher with you today because I speak from 23 years experience. If you will listen to the words I'm saying out of my mouth, you have a great shot. If you are going to take your old personality that you took from your old job or your old school and your teachers and what your parents taught you and try to apply it to wholesaling, don't even bother. It will not work. I've watched you guys do it 1,000 times. I've tried variations of it. You're going to have to follow instructions and you're going to have to execute. And for God's sake, stop negotiating with yourself. So put the questions in there. If we got time, we'll try to do some one-on-ones. I'll put up a link for that. And make sure you're subscribed to this channel, the Flip with Rick channel, because the only way you can pay me is through a subscription. That's it. And there's no charge for it. And I think that'll make everybody happy. So without further ado, let's cut into it. Let's get into this. So are you working on getting your first wholesale deal, or maybe you're trying to refire the engine back up? And we have to start with, okay, I know I'm dealing with a lot of people watching this, their frustrations of wholesaling. And you think you're all alone. You think, oh my God, is it me? I'm not working it. Stop questioning yourself. You've got to stop that because your entire life, from your parents, your colleagues, your schoolmates, your coworkers, you just constantly try to second guess yourself. And you're going to have to lose that because you're not going to have other people to lean on as much in wholesaling. Now, the really cool thing is our community here, you can rely on them like completely, but you're going to have to let your old personality go to really get this going. So I'm here to tell you, the first thing is your shoulds. I should start wholesaling. I should do this. I should do that. And honestly, guys, anything you start with a should, it's optional. It's not a decision. It is a choice. And should. What the hell does should even mean? Somebody look up the definitions and put it in the comments because I hate the word should. It has no ownership. It transfers liability from you to somebody else. And it opens up the entire world for whining, crying, and complaining. Yeah, let's give an example of a should. I should lose weight. I should exercise more. I should eat better. I should make more money in my wholesaling business. I should go out and get more JV deals. I should do more cold calling. Should doesn't do anything for you. Now, should is purposely designed to trick your ego to give you a short rush of dopamine of what you should do. Now, if you're like me, your parents your entire life goes, you should do this, Rick. You should do this, little Ricky. You should get a good job, little Ricky. You should go to college, little Ricky. I did all the shoulds. I can tell you how that one worked out for me. So my degree is not worth the paper it's printed on. I should find it sometime and post it. I got a finance degree, for full disclosure. Other than learning how finances work and reading financials, I got zero benefit from that. Now, here's the good news. I didn't pay a lot of money to go to school. I wasn't the brightest guy, period. And I didn't get full scholarships and stuff. I probably paid $5,000 or $6,000 to go to school. That's how old I am. And you people paying like these bigger dollars is a whole different situation. But what I'm saying is, put in the comments if you want, what are your shoulds? Because if you keep using the word should, I can already tell you what the problem is before you even start wholesaling. It's not wholesaling. Should is a you problem. It is a transfer of liability of being responsible. I should do this. What does that mean? And I'm telling you, most of you are going around doing wholesaling and you're just talking about shoulds. Okay, hold on. Let me fix the hold on. I'm fixing my microphone here. Hold on 1 second. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. Okay, everybody can hear me? Perfect. Okay. Let me just. Hold on, I'm coming. So I'm talking about shoulds. And okay, you can hear me. Perfect. I thought I had a technical problem because I got a message on there. I'm telling you guys, should is like the worst thing you can possibly do. And so if you catch yourself using the word should, I want you to grab yourself and go, Rick told me not to do it. Now, let me give you a word that gets associated with should. And to me, it actually means the same thing. You ready? The word try. If you're trying wholesaling, don't do it. I've never seen someone try wholesaling who won. I'm sure there's an exception. Don't get me wrong. But trying means I'm going to attempt it. And if it doesn't work out, I tried. So I tried. Like the word but has a, hey, I want to do wholesaling, but means you're going to erase everything else before. And you kind of know how that works. So, anyways, you have to understand, if we got to get rid of these words should, trust me, we're going to get in the instructional part. But if if you should be wholesaling and you're trying wholesaling, that is your problem. I could pull a duplex in your driveway with a highly motivated seller that needs to sell, off market, direct to seller, and your shoulds and tries would never, ever let you get it done. And I want that to sink into the bottom of your heart, because it is the absolute truth. I talk to so many people across the country. And the one thing I've learned on teaching you this, because you guys teach me a lot, is your vocabulary matters. And if you don't understand the association with the words you use to communicate with people, you're going to have challenges. And why would wholesaling be any different? So let me talk about this. Do you have a backup plan from wholesaling? Now, listen, we all have backup plans to make sure our families are taken care of. But I mean, like, do you go, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to go back and I'm going to work my corporate job, or I'm going to go work with my brother and do the accounting. Now, I'm not a big advocate of taking massive risk and burning the bridges. So when I got started out in wholesaling, I didn't have a choice. It was my only avenue. I didn't try. I never thought I should. It was the last resort. Now, I wasted 12 years, and I'm not telling you anybody has to do that, but I could not quit my day job because I had to pay a mortgage. I had to feed my family, and I had to take care of business. And I'm not telling anyone just to burn the bridges and do wholesaling. Hey, you get 24 hours in the day. I took full advantage of it for 8 months. That's all I did was wholesaling. My lunch breaks, my evenings, and absolutely my weekends. And you guys say, I'm not telling you to burn your bridge. Burn your bridge on Netflix, burn your bridge on social media, because if you consume social media, you are the product, and give up your nights and weekends. Period. Don't try, don't should, get rid of your butts and get it done. Because I didn't have a backup plan. I can always go back to a corporate job. Guys, unemployment is so low, you can get a job anywhere. And I'm in South Florida. I'm looking at waitresses making in the 50s and 60,000s, not even working full time. So it's a safety plan, but a backup plan means you don't think wholesaling is going to work. And it's just the truth. It doesn't mean be irresponsible about it. It just means you're going to have to go all in. Now, I don't want you to have to wait 12 years. At 33, I made a decision that everything I did up to that point was wrong. Not my family, not my friends, just the vehicle I took to get ahead in life. Corporate, great corporate job. Oh my God, I got benefits. I can't tell you how many times I used to get hung up on the benefits part. And when you guys come into wholesaling and go, well, I don't get benefits. Guys, do you know what benefits really add up to be? It's 5 to 10 grand. That's it. And some of you are so loyal to your employer for that 5 to 10 grand. It is absolutely bribery, and they're taking full advantage of you. Ask me how I know, because I was that guy. So let's do a shift, and then we're going to get into the mechanics of if we've got to get a deal, like what do we do right now? And I'm just going to tell you exactly how it is, because the reality is when you get started in wholesaling, you have to figure out if you're actually going to get it done. And me and Zach can give you all the instruction in the world. Freewholesaling.com. Why are we the only ones that give it away for free? I don't know. The reality is I want you to win. So I've taken your first line of defense as, Rick, I don't have the capital to give you 5 grand or 7 grand or 10 grand or whatever people want to randomly charge for a course. Because, okay, that one's gone. So now you're going to have to come up with your next excuse. You have to lose these excuses. You have to understand, period. Some of you guys' loyalty to companies, like, I get it. I don't know about you, but like most of you suffer from paycheck addiction, which means if you don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks, you're going to lose your mind. And 90% of the United States operates that way. And corporations take complete advantage of you for that. Now, I got no problem with having a job. God knows I'm not a hypocrite. But at some point, if you truly want to get the things you really want to desire in life, you're going to have to work on your own dreams. So if you've chosen wholesaling, let's get into it and let's figure out how to get this done. So the next step, right before I get into, because I want to get into the actual mechanics, we're not going to just do all head stuff today here. What are your musts? Wait a minute. You're talking about the shoulds. Shoulds a wish list, guys. It's a wish list with no plan to execute and no accountability for you. So I want you to put in the comments, without overthinking, what are your absolute musts in life? And I'm going to show you the difference. And if you will take this attitude with the information I give you today, man, anything can happen in your life. So put in the comments, what are your musts? Because I already know what your musts are. The question is, do you know what your must? So I would love to hear what your musts are. Please tell me, what are your musts on a day? Now, it doesn't have to be completely wholesaling related. I just want to show you. So, Sin says you must eat. That's a lie. Why? What happens if I don't eat? I just go another day. Yeah, I mean, you can technically go like a month without food. You need water and you need some basic minerals, but it's not a must. What are your must? Now, I agree with the comment. Most people's priority is eating. So I take that back. Is it required? Eventually it is. You don't have to eat every day. You know, eating 3 meals is one of the biggest scams you guys have been taught your entire life. You don't need that much food. It's it's a complete marketing thing. You know, breakfast has only been around for like 100 years. Yeah. Now here we go. I must shower and brush my teeth. Now, the brush the teeth, you guys do it without even thinking about it because it's been drilled into you, probably as a child, definitely as a teenager, and it's set in stone. So Anthony's completely correct on this. The shower thing, some of you guys could use a little work on that, but I don't know, but like when I was a little boy, like I avoided the shower like the plague, like most boys do, because you just want to play in the dirt. And then once I discovered there was a pool, I used to tell my mom the pool is like a shower. But I can't go to bed unless I brush my teeth. So if you work backwards on what are your absolute must, shower, brush your teeth, like the hardcore stuff. Um, I'm looking at like some of your guys' comments on here. I mean, Tyler has never had a better comment than that. Most of you don't understand what your musts are. Now, I would start with breathing because if you don't breathe, nothing else works. And just work yourself backwards. What are things that are just non-negotiable that happen every day? And you make sure no matter what they happen. Those are your must. And I didn't make this up, but the reality is Tony Robbins has probably one of the best sayings that says, when you turn your shoulds into musts, you get crap done in your life. And most of you don't know how to switch the shoulds to a must. We just talk about it. So if you understand what your musts are, now, other than your physical needs, breathing, let's be honest, brushing teeth is not that hard. It's not that big of an ask. Definitely give you nicer teeth and fresher breath. But the reality is, how do I turn something that's somewhat optional into a must? And that's what we got to solve today. I'll tell you right now, if I don't go and lift weights 4 to 5 times a week, I am in shell shock. Why? Because it's ingrained in me like brushing my teeth. Do I always feel like it? Absolutely not. But it is an absolute must. As Zach, I mean, if it's up to me, I would have a gym right next to my studio and my offices. But I have one just down the road that I just take a golf cart to. And God knows it needs to be inside. But the reality is, it's a must for me. It's non-optional, period. I am not going to waver on this. And then eventually what I did is I took my wholesaling, my targets, and I broke down the marketing like I'm about to do with you and said, I'm just going to get this done. This is a must and I have to get it done. Does everybody understand that? Okay, perfect. So if you got a question, put it in there. Now we're going to get into this. But like, I'm going to be honest with you, it took me a good 5 years of my life to make working out a must because I know the benefits of it. I'm not getting any younger and I want to get a head start so I can have the longest life possible. Because if I want to be the best wholesaler and the best entrepreneur investor, I have to have as many years possible for my family and quite honestly for you guys to benefit for it. What's the point of being, I did a live stream last night. We talked about the difference between being rich and being wealthy. And a synopsis is rich is temporary because if you stop earning the money, you're not rich anymore because you're usually out spending it. And wealthy is about being passive where things happen without you operating every day. But you have to make an investment. This conversation is no different. You're going to have to make an investment in yourself. And you're going to have to make sacrifices to really make this stuff happen. Anybody can be rich, but to be truly wealthy, it's hard to do. And here's the problem. Most of you assimilate rich and wealth and just monetary. And I'm just telling you, there's things more valuable out there than money. Time is much more valuable to me than money. Don't get me wrong. Money gives you a crap load of options, but what are your musts? So I would start it down, even if you went to like a Tony Robbins webinar or seminar, you write down your must and you work it backwards. Breathing was an awesome example by Tyler. Why? Because it just goes so nicely with the next quote I'm going to throw out to you. Listen, I'm not like a big motivational guy. Like I like Tony Robbins stuff, but if you guys ever seen Tony Robbins, he'll tell you he's not a motivational speaker. He's there to inspire you, but most importantly, to take action. So guys, I'm not a motivational speaker. I have walked the walk of a wholesaler. I'm still doing it 23 years. You are going to have to be inspired to take a massive amount of action and consistently do it, and eventually stress that disciplined muscle of getting it done. So with that being said, the famous Derek Thomas, which I love and I recommend any of the stuff you do, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. See, that's his overstatement of a must. When you make it a must, it's non-negotiable. Let me ask you, when you have your kids walking, is it a must they walk? In the parents' eyes, it's an absolute must. Kids, they suck so bad at walking when they first, and after a while, if they bang their head, they bruise, they cry, they get it. Why? Because they keep doing it. It is a must to the kid as much as it is as the parent. And once you take that mindset, you can do anything you want in wholesaling. But I got to tell you, if you don't take that mindset, no matter what I show you in this live stream is never going to be applicable and work for you, because you just like, there's just some people that just don't want it bad enough. I just don't want it bad. And if you don't want it bad enough, I'm not here to sell you on it. You have got to sell yourself on it. And that's when you want it as bad as you want to breathe. Let me tell you what, do an example. Like, please don't pass out. Put your hand over your mouth and your nose and squeeze it and tell me how long you can go. And all of a sudden, taking a breath is the most important thing in your life. And that's the point I'm trying to get across to you. Until you make wholesaling an absolute priority, you make it a must and you get rid of the should and turn it into a must, then we can do some damage. But the minute you start coming at excuses, but this, that, I tried this, I can't help you, because I know it's going to be chronic, and until something massively changes in your life, even Tony Robbins can't help you. And he'll tell you, number one, if you cannot recognize something in your life, if it's a problem or something you want to get to it, you can never do it. If you're extremely overweight and you keep telling everybody you're big boned, you're right, because that means you can't acknowledge and fix the problem. So if you've been broken in wholesaling to this point, do the stuff I just taught you. It was a should. Until you convert to a must, you can't do it. Why do you think people like me and Zach and the hundreds of other thousands of people in successful in wholesaling, what's the difference? And here's what an excuse sounds like. Well, they're not in a saturated market. Oh, Rick started in 2003. It was like taking candy from a baby back then. What if I told you I had similar problems back in 2003 that you guys have in 2025? I thought the markets were overpriced. I thought wholesaling was dead. I was told it was going to be outlawed and outbanned. And I was told you'll never get a title company to do this because they're going to switch it up. And here I am 23 years. Thank God I didn't take that advice. Thank God I didn't get my real estate license, because I'm not a sheep. I don't do what people tell the masses to do. The reason why people tell you to do that is they're usually trying to drive their own agenda. And it's just the truth. And I considered doing all that stuff when I started wholesaling, and I resisted. I talked to some wise people and they go, remember, those people will not be in the business in 3 to 5 years. And what am I seeing now? The same people that had the big giant wholesaling push from basically 2015 to 2022. I'm just going to say it. A lot of them are irrelevant. Most of their businesses closed out, especially these coaching, I guess you call them big companies or whatever, but what if you have such a great product and such a great idea, why is it no longer viable anymore? I don't know. I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to go train everybody else how to do it, and then I'm going to charge them. Oh, listen, guys, I don't have a problem with coaching. Coaching is required in every part of life. But my problem in wholesaling is it's like you're a target, and I get tired of it. So no longer is that a barrier of an entry. We're good to go. So everybody goes to Eric Thomas. Now, let me just check comments, and we're going to walk into you guys have here's my crazy part. Like, I could never leave my job. I'm too loyal to my boss stuff. Like, dude, at the end of the day, it's your life. Stop letting other people tell you what you want to do. Did I say wholesaling is easy? Absolutely not. Me and Zach are probably the only ones that tell you you're gonna have to work your you know what off. You're gonna have to work really hard. And as much as wholesaling lets everybody participate, it's brutal to the people that lie and try it and think they should do it. They will eat you alive. Now, I have people successful in San Francisco, New York market, Connecticut. How can you do it there? And so it's up to you if you want to do it. Do I recommend doing those markets? No, but I'm always going to tell you to do it locally. So let's dive into this. So let's get into it and get it. So if you have any of those reservations, if your shoulds or must, just recognize it. And what I want you to do is carefully listen to the vocabulary, because most of the vocabulary you've learned in your life, you've been pre-programmed from your parents, definitely your siblings. I know my siblings did it. And then you have your schooling, you have your teachers. You guys see what's going on across the country. And God forbid, don't let the government program you. Be your own person. But I'm just telling you, to do what you're going to have to do in wholesaling, you're going to have to beat to a different drum than 97% of the people out there in the world. And most of you struggle with that. You've just got to let it go. Unless you want their life, leave it alone. Everybody's got an opinion. And you know what? The people that are below you will always tell you what to do. You ever notice that? It's unbelievable. My entire life, it's been that way. So I always ask myself, before I take advice from you, do I want to be in your shoes? If they have a miserable relationship, if their kids don't speak to them, if their kids don't even work in their own business, like, what kind of message are you sending to the people? Not a requirement. But if you're so prolific and so good, why is not like your entire family join you? I know mine does. Why? We're really good at what we do and we love it. It's not a requirement. I'm just saying, if they don't have a great relationship, why would you take relationship advice? If your parents are broke, please don't follow their advice. It's just the truth. God knows I took the advice from my parents and only find out I had no idea if they had money or not. I just thought everybody was broke. That's how I was raised. And if we understand that, if I'm going to get financial guidance from her, you better be leaps and bounds ahead of me. And I have no problem asking people about their financials. So when I go see a financial planner, 90% of them get massively upset when I ask to look at their portfolio. That's private information. I go, why would I ever hire you then? If you can't practice what you preach, why would I hire you? And I get this all the time. They hate me over there. And then I usually wind up getting the senior person. They'll show me, and then we'll go on from there. But I think I went through 9 reps before I would take financial advice from an advisor. Why? Because if you're broke, why am I going to take your advice? If you can't dig out of the, well, I only make so much money and I invest it. Yeah, so why am I going to follow you? So you guys have to do the exact same thing. You have to understand, if you want to lose weight, don't take advice from someone who has not gone to the journey yet. And listen, I think we all need work in our lives on our physical stuff. I'm just telling you, if you're not in shape, don't take advice from someone not in shape. If someone's overweight, don't take their advice. It's bad. It's not going to work. Yes, people have medical conditions, stuff like that. I'm just saying, you got to take ownership for everything you do. You have to understand that. Okay, let's jump in. Let's talk practical here. So This is what we need to do. Once we get past the mindset part, I know I'm going to beat the drum, but here's what you guys have to understand. Those of you starting out in wholesaling right now, you got to put bread on the table. You've got to make some money. Some of you are planning businesses years down the road. We've got to get through the next 3 to 6 months. So stop worrying about your graphics, your high-end logos, your websites, all this other stuff. Go out, find motivated sellers, master marketing first, freewholesaling.com, and go out and talk to sellers. Now, before we do it, we have to understand, what are we looking for? Here's problem number 2. Most wholesalers are looking in the wrong areas. Why? Because there's so much information out there. Everybody wants your money, especially if you're a newer wholesaler. So they're going to give you all these replacements for wholesaling. This is going to be easier. Here's a shortcut. Here's a secret. It's all BS, guys. Come on. Like, you realize wholesaling's been around 200 years, but everybody seems to think they reinvent it every year. I didn't invent wholesaling. I just put my spin on it and I move forward. That's the honest to God truth. I don't know why other people don't tell you that. It's just the truth. So we have to find people, ODN, off market, direct to seller, that needs to sell. You find a seller in all 3 of those areas, your odds of getting a great wholesale deal go massively up. Get 2 out of the 3, you got a shot. 1 out of the 3, you're usually dead in the water. Took me 23 years to come up with that formula, but it's the God honest truth. Do we have people that hit all 3 areas all the time? No, it's actually the exception, not the rule. Give me 2 out of the 3, I got a great shot. So you guys going chasing realtors down on MLS, I'm not saying you can't get a deal from it, but if I'm starting out wholesaling, like, your odds of getting a deal, you're going to drive yourself nuts, because you're talking to people that just want to sell their house, and you have to have really ripe market conditions to make that happen. The only time I fished on the MLS was 2009, late 2009, 2010 to 11. I've never seen so many properties available. But here's the God honest truth. I got much more deals still in off market, because the realtors usually mess it up. Let's just be brutally honest. So the first things we have to do is we got to get a deal. Because if you don't get deal 1, don't worry about doing scaling your business and getting all these lawyer agreements, because you're not going to have enough money to survive. I got to get you to deal 1. And my goal in the beginning with freewholesaling.com is to get you to 5 deals. Why 5? Statistically, you hit 5, you could do this business full time. And it shows that wholesaling is a must for you. If you get 1 or 2 deals, it's a should. I'm sorry. It's the truth. You can argue with me till you turn blue, but your actions speak much louder than your words. You see, words are associated with shoulds, tries, thinking about it. People that take action, they execute, and they keep moving forward in spite of poor results, because that's how wholesaling works. So we need to get you started without making a massive investment. Me and Zach have already fixed the first problem. You're not paying a $5,000, $7,000, or $10,000 course. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you the course is evergreen. It's a lifetime membership. 100% a complete marketing lie. Why? Lifetime anything, it's hard to really master. And when all these companies get sold and the new owner takes it, it's like, it's not my problem anymore. And so the odds of you getting a lifetime evergreen are probably slim to none, unless you have at least a $30 million company. But even then, it's not that big of a company, and it could be problematic. So please don't buy on just stuff like that. So we get rid of it. So what are we going to have you? You're going to go into freewholesaling.com. What's the first thing you're going to do there? You're going to go to the government list section on the marketing. We're going to put a list together. Why do we use government lists? Where there's smoke, there's fires is the best way to do it. Number 1, they're free. It doesn't mean they're easy. I don't know why everybody assimilates they're easy. They're a pain in the ass. Sorry. Number 2, they are motivated sellers. The government does the work for you. You might as well get some sort of benefit. or when they're on these specialized lists. And by the way, I believe we have 9 total options at freewholesaling.com. I'm going to give you the ones I want you to do right now, because I'm telling you, if you can't get a deal after this one, you're really screwed. So first thing, government list. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to get every one of them. Rarely are you going to get every one of them. That's just how this list works. Now, they are public, but they all have little privacy policies. And to overcome resistance, you beat it with persistence. And you are no different. You're going to have to do the same thing. Now, if you can pull these and get a decent quantity, and you actually take the actionable, marketable steps to contact these people, you'll get a deal. If you don't, you'll flounder. Now, here's the good news is you don't have to do it this way forever, because I want you to get your first deal, then get you to 5 deals. And then after that, I'm going to show you how to scale to 30 rather quickly. But like, you ever hear that like age-old saying the first million's the toughest? That's not true, by the way. Not even close. The first deal's the toughest. Then getting the deal 5, I'm telling you, it's going to be a challenge, but you can get there. But if you can be resourceful enough to get 5 deals, man, why can't you do 30? Why can't you do 300? Because you figure out how to do it over and over. But most of you don't get the 5 deals. Let's just be brutally honest. Is wholesaling a must? So of the government list, this is the ones I want you to pull. You don't worry, it's just recorded and it's live. Yes, I know it's live. Someone always puts a comment in there. The first list, code violations. These are basically people that do not comply their house. Either their grass gets too high, they painted their house purple, and the city and or the county has ordinances to protect everybody's property value. Or your local, I'm not going to say Karen, because there's probably a Karen on here. It's not fair that everyone's called a Karen on it, but basically like a Karen rats you out and they measure your grass. And then you get a notification and they send out a city inspector. And if you violate whatever the bylaws of the city or the county, you get a code violation. You usually have 30 days to rectify it, and you got to come back and get it reinspected. Now, nobody chooses to be on the code violations. I take that back. Some people choose because they have poor taste. They paint their property a crazy color, or they paint their driveway pink. Now, code violations, they're to design homeowners so like people don't open up businesses in their houses and stuff like that, which is, nobody wants that. Nobody wants like rooming houses and stuff like that. So the code violations are endless. Here's the ones that you focus on: deferred maintenance and landscaping. Deferred maintenance and landscaping. Those are the only ones I focus on. Go get those lists. You're going to have to work to get them, but they work really well. The next one I want you to get is the tax delinquency list. I love this list. This is forever. This is a staple. Code violations, tax delinquencies will never, ever go away. They are the fundamentals of wholesaling, and any real estate coach, mentor, teacher, guru, whatever you want to call them, don't teach you to pull these basics. I don't understand it. I know you can't make money off of it, but it still works. It's like giving someone a car and saying, listen, you still have to push the gas pedal to accelerate it. And some people don't know it. If you've never driven a car, maybe you don't know it. Maybe you need a driving course. But the reality is tax delinquencies, people that are behind on the real estate taxes. Now, specifically, they need to be behind at least 2 years. 3 years is even better, but a minimum 2 years. You can get these records from your tax collector county office. The code violations, just so you know, you usually get it from your city annex office, usually next to the building permits for the city, not the county. And sometimes they'll have the police department tied into it. Don't ask me why. It just is. So tax delinquencies. Here's the cool thing about tax delinquency. You only got to get it once a year. Once a year, get people 2 years or further behind. Guys, let me ask you, what happens if they do not wind up paying their past due property tax bill? The house is going to get foreclosed on. What happens if they don't correct the code violation? They're going to get a fine up to $100, $150 a day. And after a year or two, it's going to be massive. And they risk the chance of their house being foreclosed on. Which leads us to number 3. Pre-foreclosures. So let me give a little disclaimer. The word pre just means catch the foreclosure earlier, sooner than later. Because here's what happens. When people get behind in a foreclosure, usually most of them want to kind of deal in the first, say, 3 to 4 months. The ones like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm going to lose the house. It's terrible. The sooner you catch them, the more options you can give to the seller, which means it's easier for you to get the deal done. But here's what happens in foreclosure. I say a month or two goes by, they get past all the warnings, all the nasty phone messages, and they're like, wait, let me get this straight. I'm staying in a house. It's been 6 months. I haven't made one payment, and I'm keeping the house. I'm going to bury my head in the sand. This is a great plan. Now, we all know it's a terrible, terrible plan, and they're just living in the moment, and they're not really protecting their family and their asset when they do that. But unfortunately, life's creeped up on them. They have so much stuff hitting their plate. They can't deal with it. Most of the time, their phone messages are full when I deal with these types of people. They don't choose to be in this situation, and I never take that lightly. So when they're stuck in this situation, if you try to catch them sooner than later. So don't go so where do I get this list? You go to your county courthouse. It's the foreclosure list, also known as the lis pendens, or a notice of default. If you can get notice of defaults are the absolute best, but every state's a little bit different. I'm not getting in the weeds on it here. You get these lists, guys, you've got a shot. So let me review this. We're going to do government lists, code violations, pull it, tax delinquencies. How often pull the code violations? If you can pull it every month, pull it every month. You want open violations. Open, not closed ones. And the fresher, the better. But I'll give you a little secret. Code violations build up, and some people never really correct them. So you can work on old open ones, but I like the fresh ones because let's face it, you're probably not the first person calling them on that code violation list if it's 6 or 12 months old. If it just popped up today or yesterday, you have a great shot of being first, having that speed to lead, which is so important in wholesaling. Tax delinquencies, you only got to pull once a year. Why? Taxes are due once a year. The only thing that happens is they update a month is when people pay their taxes, they take them off the list. You really don't care about that. Don't waste your time. So you need to make it a priority to get this list because it works well. Remember, not paying your taxes is a precursor to other things going on in their lives. And once they get 2 years behind, rarely do they rectify the delinquency without selling the house. These are people that need to sell. Are you guys following me? Are you getting it? You getting it? Let me check for questions here before we do this. So I appreciate you guys. Okay, so let's keep going. This is the basics. I'm trying to get you your first deal and get you to your first 5. Don't worry. I got a plan to ramp you up after that. But why ramp you up before you even got a deal? And most of you guys, I want to do 500 deals. Why don't you try deal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Start with 1, then we go to 2. See, because if you go from 1 to 2, you just doubled your business. Pretty cool. Okay, so we have tax delinquencies, pre-foreclosures. Now, doing a combination of these 3 lists, you're going to have to scrape up 1,500 leads. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Now, a bulk of them is going to be code violations and tax delinquencies. Now, you have to sort through your tax delinquencies, just so you know, because you don't want county-owned property and you don't want like $1 million houses because the rich just finance their taxes. They're not going to be motivated to sell. So you can easily take all 3 of these lists and accumulate 1,500 leads. Does everybody understand that? This is what I would do if I had to go in your town and work with you. I'm telling you, if you follow, stop trying to cookie cut this to the stuff you want to do and get rid of the stuff you don't want to do, because it's not going to work in deal 1 through 5. If you can't comply and really work wholesaling is going to work you right out of the business. It's just the truth. I know PPL sounds sexy at this point. You are not qualified to do it. because you barely have any money to get in this. And God knows I didn't charge you for the course. So I saved you that first 7 to 10 grand. So you need to do this. Oh my God. Here's how you think of it. Rick and Zach gave me the gift of the best wholesaling course on planet Earth. Hands down, there's zero debate on it. Just look at the amount of testimonials organically given to you. I'm not one of these guys that does a coaching program and says, make sure you harvest your testimonials so you can exploit them and market it like crazy and sell your evergreen products. Trust me, plenty of seminars to go to that. They're all over the country. They'll pump and dump you. The most important thing to them is about the sale. They all say the same thing. It's all about profit. Well, if you think about profit over people, you're never going to last in any real business. That's why these people go business to business, sell them, business to business, sell them. Because if they ever had to like marry their thoughts and stuff, customers probably would never stick to it. Now we have the list. The question is, how do we attack this list? I'm going for highest priority. This is not going to be easy. I'm going to forewarn you before I release this. Number one, the best way to connect with these people. By the way, I have no problem with cold calling. I love cold calling. I love SMS texting, and you can use a combination, but you have to implement the reverse driving for dollars for all three of these. Now, I picked out these three specifically because they have the highest response rate, period. And they have the highest motivation. So if you can't get a deal from what I'm showing you right now, I'm going to question if you're making wholesaling a must. Now, we're just scraping the iceberg here. And guys, I'm not going to give you 3 million things. I'm going to give you basically 3 steps so anybody can get a deal in wholesaling. Once again, I'm asking you, how bad do you really want it? You want it bad as breathing? You got a great shot. You're just going to casually do this? I'm not going to be your guy, man. I'm in the David Goggins mentality when it comes to wholesaling. And people use an analogy of if somebody forced you and put a weapon to you, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because you'll say and lie and do whatever you had to do to get out of a situation to save yourself or your family. So we can't use that because it's a horrible analogy. But let me tell you what, your family is on the line. Your legacy is on the line. You have to step up and do something. Guys, how long do you think you're going to be on this earth? Every one of you, including me, thought we had much more time than we're going to have on this earth. Take your bat and swing it as absolutely hard as you can, because you can't take any of that energy when you leave this earth. And God only made one of you. They had a purpose for putting you in here. If you've chosen wholesaling and you made wholesaling a must, just go in everything you got. Stop living small and live large. Everybody's got to start somewhere. If I didn't have the guts to 2003 to make a substantial change in my life, we would not be having this conversation. And I want you guys to understand, it's up to you. So reverse driving for dollars. Why? All it is, guys, all this information is at freewholesaling.com. You put a sticky note on the door. You have to logistically organize it. You can use X leads and get everything organized. And then the idea is you leave a note. And remember, curiosity kills the cat. It also kills the motivated seller. Do not write a monologue. Simply, hey, got a question, need to ask you something. Mix it up. Please don't hey, I got a quick question for you. I think that's getting overplayed. This is where I always tell you to do what? Ready for this? What's wholesaling about? You're going to have to be resourceful, especially if you're getting leads off government lists and you're doing it on a low budget. You're going to have to be resourceful. There is no finance department. There is no marketing department. There is no sales department. You are the department of wholesaling. So you're going to have to be resourceful, because here's when people go, I don't want to do this sticky note. That's a lot of work. It's so exhausting. Do you have a stamp or something I can do it? I go, man, if you can't write 500 sticky notes, you don't deserve a stamp. How hard is it? Dude, I was the guy who sit in grade school. That teacher made you write on the chalkboard like 500 times, I will not act out in class. That was me. She called my mom. He's like, yeah, make him write it 500 times. My mom's laughing. I'm just telling you, you're going to have to think. You got to be creative. Stop trying to have AI do everything. And I love AI. We'll talk about that, but we're not there yet. So we have to understand reverse driving for dollars. Why? Because it works really, really well. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so let's keep moving forward. That's step one in getting a deal now. Okay, so if we take the mindset and we go attack those government lists, I don't have a monopoly on government list. Everybody has the availability. Is I don't have a program that you can sell you government list. And this is why most coaches won't do it for you, because if you guys can read between the lines, they can't profit from it. And they'll always tell you like, well, you need to scale it up. How are you going to scale it if you have 0 deals in your business? Are you willing to spend 10, 20, 30 grand to find out you're going to try wholesaling or you should wholesaling? Because here's a little secret. People who sell you courses, they completely eat people alive that should start wholesaling or try wholesaling. Now, don't get me wrong. The people that make wholesaling a must and they hire a coach, they usually do pretty good. And regardless if you paid 100 grand or you got it free from me and Zach, if you don't make wholesaling a must, none of it's going to work. And we have to understand that. So reverse driving for dollars, it's 1,500. I'm not giving you a time frame or anything. I'm just saying get through 1,500, get through the reverse driving for dollars. It's going to require a tremendous amount of effort. You're going to have to put in sweat equity, but I promise you it will be worth it. Because if you can harvest one deal, 10, 20 grand out of it, that's the confidence boost you need to do it. But you got to go from 0 to 1. And it's going to be an uphill battle. And this is where I want you to start. Now, you know where I'm going on the next one. This is non-optional. And if you don't do it, I know you're not serious about wholesaling. Now, is it a requirement? No. But if you don't have a deal, I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage of this source. It's probates. This is simple, guys. Here's the best part about probates most people won't tell you. Number one, they're cheap. They're super cheap for a marketing strategy. Now, this is the reason why nobody sells you a coaching program on probates, is because it's not sexy. Now, you all know that probates have the highest profitability level, period, hands down. Nobody argues that. Most of my 6-figure deals from single family residential came from probates. Think about it. When somebody passes away, the priority is to take care of the family member. And I've done this multiple times in my family. It hurts. Probate hurts. Nobody wants anyone to die, but it is an inevitable part of life. This is why it's the staple of wholesaling. See, me and Zach teach you the fundamentals, and then we give you advanced strategies as you grow your business. But in the beginning, you guys just need basic concepts to go out and get wholesaling deals. I know it seems like I drink like 4 cups of coffee, but I'm really passionate about this stuff. All these tricks, bells and whistles, in the beginning, you just need to get out there and talk to motivated sellers that need to sell their house. Off-market, direct to seller. So, probates. Here's the good news is it doesn't cost much. We mail them a letter. They have to own real estate. You're going to have to filter them. Where do you get it? Go down to your county probate courts. Are they going to give you some difficulty getting these leads? Probably. They're tired of people trying. There's people that go out there and try to buy this data. Now, here's the good news is if the only way you can get it is pull it at your county courthouse, you have a monopoly. Most wholesalers that do probates, they quit in under 90 days. Why? Because they run a sprint. You want to run a sprint, go buy someone's course because it's full of sprinters. Let's look good. I want to look good. I want to look good. Well, listen. Do you want to look rich or do you want to become rich? It is a massive difference. Massive difference. And the people that actually want to become rich understand they have to do the basics before they can get to advanced strategies. Now, probates, once you filter them, once you get the list, you're looking for what they call the PR, the personal representative, or the executor. Now, without getting overly complicated, here's the cool part, freewholesaling.com. I teach the #1 probate course in the entire world. mostly the United States, but the entire world, on how a wholesaler can take advantage of probates, how a wholesaler can get the best creative finance deals from probates. Not my words, because I came out with this course, what was it, 2013, 14, and little did I know at the time, it came the best training one out there. You know why? Because I live this stuff, man. I love it. I love probates. But the problem is, most people probate, they go, oh my God, it's going to take forever. I don't want to do it. Listen, if I could teach you how to plant a seed and come back and get a $100,000 bill for it, every one of you would be in the garden right now, digging and planting those seeds. That's all probate is. See, the difference is a sprinter wants everything short-term dopamine rush. These are the same people that sell you all the coaching programs over and over because that's what they were taught. And until they change their ways, my business model is going to constantly threaten them. That's why they hate me and Zach. It is what it is. I don't hate anybody. And honestly, you have the right to buy whatever you want. But if I'm going to give it to you for free, why would you buy it? Like, you already have enough obstacles in your way in wholesaling. This is why the wholesaling coaching model is dying. Everything's out there for you. You just have to execute. You got to execute it with someone who actually does wholesaling, that has multiple strategies in every which way to do it. That's what me and Zach do. So if we understand that, probates, on average, a county, outside of like Houston and some of the bigger counties, my counties average 50 to maybe 65 to 70 leads per month. Now, there's actuaries for this, and it comes very regular in the market you service. Now, here's the thing with probates. Start out with the county that you are targeting. You can do this locally or virtually. If you can get them from the county courthouse, pull it. It is a huge advantage. But a lot of you guys can get it online now. And sometimes you have to have a corporate account, minor stuff, just get it done. But if I got, say 60 probates a month, and we go 10 months, let's just say 50 for even numbers, and I go 10 months, that's 500 probate leads. Now, here's the requirement. They have to be fresh probates. Trust me on this one. It makes a huge difference. Once again, I talked about earlier, speed to lead. It is everything in wholesaling. And as a new wholesaler, your advantage that you can beat someone like me is speed. You're never going to beat me in knowledge, but you can make up for it in enthusiasm, a positive attitude, and speed to lead. I should write that stuff down. That's how my ADHD brain thinks. That speed to lead, guys, that's what got me ahead of everybody else in probates. People were so slow on probates. Now, I've opened up, by the way, I have this entire course in freewholesaling.com. Now, you have to do some extra steps to open it up because I used to charge. I didn't charge. Somebody licensed me for this information. I didn't completely understand what I was doing at the time. And they used to charge, I think, $300 for it. I got away for free. And by the way, I won't even tell you what kind of revenue this thing generated. And I give it away for free right now because I have a court order against me. So it goes in line with everything else I do. I just give it away for free. So I can't get in trouble if I don't charge for it. And all I do is keep updating it. So it's completely modern. It's BPS 3.0 and it's all in there. I give you the entire veil on how to do it. Here's the secret. You can't quit. So I say 500 leads. I don't want you to go get 500 in 1 month. Do it over 10 months. And you consistently market them. You mail them a letter. I provide you the dang letter. I can't make it any easier for you. And then what I'd like you to do is implement a cold calling and a text strategy. Now, if you want to do this the correct way, the best way, because this is how me and Zach's brain works, like father, like son, is you need a system to really automate this, because I told you 1,500 in government list. We're doing 500 in probates. You have to have a way. You have to have a way to automate it, because who's going to keep up with this? I was so adamant against cold calling. And then when Zach came on my company, he said, Dad, why don't we cold call probate leads? I go, dude, that's a little rough. And it was just bad thinking. And Zach told me, but what if we get them to work with us? Aren't we giving them a benefit? Aren't we the best people to buy their house? I said, yes. He goes, then we just got to get past this cold calling thing. And I changed my mind. And now I have I have a great system to where we cold call them, we mail them a letter, and we send them an automated text. And the whole thing is built inside of X Leads, and you can automate it. I give you the sequence. I give you the letter. I give you absolutely everything. We even show you how to send them an email when we get you all that information. Do you guys see the value of how me and Zach thought out with X Leads to really, if you want to talk about helping the wholesaling community, the idea is to give you tools and marketing avenues to get your deals going. And that's what you have to do. Okay, let's keep moving here. I got a lot more. Now, I love probates. Here's the problem is most people quit way too early. So by design, I assume you have 50 in your market. You do it at least 10 months. You should be able to get a deal from that. The problem is the phone only rings once or twice in a month. You have to answer it live. Don't give me your excuse. Make it a must and answer the lead live. It makes a tremendous difference. It's so much effort chasing down people and doing all that. So, guys, let me adjust this because I'm going to cut that down. So here's what we're working on a plan right now. Everything I just gave you, where did I put it? 2,000 leads to work. 2,000 of the highly motivated, targeted leads that are off market, direct to seller that need to sell. Now, you're going to have a lot of follow-up because 70 to 75% of these are going to come through the follow-up. Not everyone's ready to sell. And I'll teach you in probates. Here's a little teaser. I'll teach you how to get rid of their biggest excuse in probates. I'm going to wait till the probate's done. I have that solved. What if I could show you how to sell the probate prior to the probate process being completed? Is that something you want to talk about? Bang. I do this all day long. Why? Because I sat there for 2 years and heard everyone's excuse. I have to wait till the probate's over. That's a 100% lie that lawyers fester to maximize their fees. Rick's going to show you how to explain it. You can't challenge these lawyers because their egos are ginormous. Please don't get upset if you're a lawyer on here, but it's the truth. It gets worse than realtors. So 2,000. 2,000 are the best motive. Now, you're going to have to work to get these leads. But I'm telling you, if you attack these leads between the reverse driving for dollars, the cold calling it, and the SMS, if you can't get a deal out of this, I need to get in your system and see the whole thing. And when people go, Rick, I'm struggling to see this, I go, I'll either do one of two things. Show me your X Leads account. Oh, I haven't really set it up yet. Okay, there we go. That wholesaling is not a must. It's a should. I'm going to try it. Or, hey, I tell you what, that's fine. Even if you don't have X Leads, show me your marketing plan. Well, what do you mean? What's your plan? How many leads you're pulling a month? How are you attacking the leads? And how are you following up with them? And then from there, show me how many calls you made, how many texts you've sent, how many letters you've mailed, how many reverse driving for dollars you've done. Show me how many appointments you set. Show me how many contracts you've written, and show me how many deals you have pending or getting ready to close. Well, it's complicated. No, it's not. It's what's required to do wholesaling. And most of you fight me on this, and I'm here to tell you, at some point, we just have to cut through the crap and get stuff done in wholesaling. 2,000 leads, guys. Work it. Now, let me ask you this. How bad do you want a wholesale deal? If you want it bad enough, you'll take this stuff and run. But I'm not done yet. Next thing is, what about joint ventures? I'm at it. This is the whipped cream on the top, okay? I love joint ventures. They have never been more prevalent than they are now. This is not your common daisy chaining. That thing's been just killed to death. Nobody likes someone who daisy. The problem is daisy chaining actually had a legitimate spot, but the problem is nobody tells the truth about it, and nobody knows what they're selling anymore. You have to be transparent. You have to have a relationship to do a JV. I won't do a JV with you if you're not on the up and up. If you can't show me your paperwork and you want to manipulate stuff, I'm not your guy. Go somewhere else. because I already know the deal's not going to work out. So how in today's world would I have the best opportunity to do JV? Now, number one, go over to our school group. Not only is it free to get in there, I know it's shocking. Everybody else wants to charge for school. We give it away for free. I have 43,000 people in there. We communicate on a daily basis. I have a staff that helps keep everything moving, and we motivate each other. You can find people in your areas, in your markets, and you can find JVs. It doesn't cost you a dime. So let me ask you, how much work have you done and gone in there and tried to pair up with somebody in our group? Oh, Rick, that's a lot of work. I know. Get it done. But if 43,000 wasn't enough for you, what about Facebook? Wholesaling Houses for Real, the largest wholesaling group in the entire world. 150,000 people. You can't make a connection in there. I know you got to get through all the spam. Trust me, we fight it on a daily basis. But the reality is there's so many people from every state all over the entire world. You can connect with anybody you want, but are you making the effort? I didn't have any of this crap when I started wholesaling. I had to go to the old-fashioned RIA, like they even called meetups back then. They just called it a meeting. And you had to pay to get in. You had to sit through a 2-hour boring lecture. They tried to sell you a $5,000 package. And then you got to network with people. But you guys have all these great free tools. What about Zach Discord? I mean, this thing's amazing. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. To me, it's the fastest, the most connective way to connect with people in wholesaling. Now, 27,000 people. Why is it so small? Because we just started it. And I get it. There's a lot of people that offer value out there on Discord. I'm not knocking people charge it. I think it's pretty cool. People charge 20, 30 bucks to do Discord. It's a hell of a lot better than 5 or 10 grand up front. But ours is free. You choose which method you want to do. And then they segment it. You can do audio, you can do voice, you can do memes, you can do video, you can do a section. You have an X lead section, you got a probate section. We have a closing table. We have everything in there. And God forbid, this is, if you do something stupid in there, you get banned and kicked out. What's stupid, Rick? I don't know if you secretly try to sell a course in there, you think we're dumb. Every one of you people trying to sell a course go on a special list and it's shared with everybody. So they know, watch out for this guy or gal. This is what they do. See, doing this, I don't know who taught you how to do this backdoor thing. It's not going to work. You are not authentic. You don't belong in our group. Go somewhere else. You want to spam? Join one of the other groups. They'll be happy to do it with you. ZachDiscord.com. Honestly, I think it's the absolute best JV platform out there. There's some other people in there, but it's, you guys know how Discord works. It's confusing to an old man like me, but it's like you guys work so fast. So here's the bottom line, guys. You ready for this? You can whine or you can win. It's your choice. When it's said and done, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to whine or you're going to win. Just lose the H and the E, and you're going to actually turn a whining into winning. I used to whine a long time ago when I started out wholesaling. I'm like, this is saturated. After a while, either you complain chronically in life or you go out and seek solutions. And you find the more excuses people give, the less you're ever going to rely on them. Because if you always have an excuse, you can never get anything done. And that's the part that drives me nuts. Now, I'm going to give one more disclosure here. There's one more important fact that I left out. I put it on the bottom of my notes here. I'm starring some of your comments here. And by the way, the whole thing on the, well, we'll go over that later. I'm not going to do that right now. Let me put this up here. Where to go? Okay. So if we understand that, there's one thing you have to do to really make it in wholesaling. Now, if you take that basic strategy, most people, I can get a deal pretty quickly. And I find the ones that actually apply it and do it and get rid of their excuses and just take action, and they work through their failures, because you're going to have failures. I don't know who guys taught. I know your school teachers, your parents taught you should never fail at anything. Honestly, the more you fail, the more you learn in life and the further you get. People that are scared to take chances and taking actions, they never get anywhere. They'll just tell you how to do stuff. People that are lower than you will tell you how to run your entire life, and they've never taken a risk that one day in their life. Guys, I don't believe in retirement. Retirement is this man-made lie. Work hard, and then you retire when you're old, out of shape, and terrible, and you're hooked on pharmaceuticals. Then you can enjoy your life. No, you can't. That's just not for me. Maybe it's for you guys. It's not for me. And if you do wholesaling right, you never really have to retire. And by the way, once you get through those 5 deals, it's actually really easy to scale your business. And I'll show you how to do it. Now, as I said, here's the one missing factor. The biggest problem, one of the biggest other problems I see in wholesaling is you guys don't understand and know how to regulate and control your emotions. So number one, if you yell at somebody and there's not a truck coming to run them over, it makes no sense. Now, I'm not a hypocrite. I do plenty of yelling, especially at Zach. But the reality is we've never been given a manual to our emotions. And your emotions is your knee-jerk reaction to how you interpret something and how you respond to it. Your emotions is just, it's a raw feeling. It's very subconscious. And most of it's been burned in your entire life, from your childhood to your parents to your schooling. And we never learned to regulate it. Nobody ever taught us this. I don't know why they don't teach it in school. And you respond to your emotions. Look at your emotions like a passing cloud. Do you respond to every cloud that goes by, good or bad? Some are storm clouds, some are stratus cumulus, whatever we call them. But you just got to let them go. You're going to have good days and bad days. But your emotions, you've been taught your entire life, react. No, you got to learn how to respond. So you want to do yourself a cool exercise. Look up the difference between emotion and feelings. So emotion is a subconscious response to something happening to you right now. A feeling is accumulation of past experience that you have a conscious feeling of how you interpret it. Here's the really cool part is emotions are there. God put them there, honestly, to make us human, I believe. You do not have a liability to respond to everything that emotionally triggers you. In fact, you're going to have to learn how to do the complete opposite. So I'm going to put this up there. Oops, I did the wrong one. Stop letting your emotions make your wholesale decisions, because they're terrible. Your emotions are immature. They're basically predicated on your pre-adolescent when you were growing up. And until you decide to confront them and go, why do I need to do this? Listen, I don't know if you guys are part of a family that just yells at everybody. Like my wife's side of the family. I mean, it's like I'm on heightened alert because they're always yelling. Now, I came from a family that yelled too. And it just becomes such a part of your pattern, your identity. You just yell at everybody. And throwing ADHD on top of it, I was so confused my entire childhood. I didn't know if I was coming or going. Now, I've worked on a lot of things. I understand my limits, and I work on it every day. I do not react to people. You want to do a negative video about me or my family? God bless you. It's free advertising. That's how I look at it. I would never churn and put my spotlight of my marketing and everything I contribute to the wholesale community to do a video on somebody else outside of what I promote in wholesaling. Why? Because I only get so much time. Why would I make it not about what we do? It makes no sense. In fact, every time someone does a video about me and Zach, it just increases our exposure. And do I like some of the stuff? No. Most of these people don't even know who I am. They've never stepped a foot in my office. They've never done a deal with me. And I've been doing this 23 years. So I know I'm a marathon wholesaler. I'm not going to go anywhere. But stop letting your emotions make your wholesale decisions, because they are going to steer you wrong. Now, I'm going to throw this one out there. This is one of my favorite human beings. And he's not a wholesaler, but I do love, I like people that walk the walk. And this man helped me get through like some just physical obstacles I wanted to get through in my life. And it's just to David Goggins. And he says here, don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. And if you guys will take this attitude, it's never going to be perfect in wholesaling. So don't stop when you're tired. Don't stop when your rejection's at your worst. Don't stop when you don't feel like doing, your wholesaling. Don't stop when somebody emotionally triggers you and says you're never going to amount to anything. I can do what David Goggins did. Who's going to carry the contracts? So he always says, who's going to carry the boats? Who's going to carry the contracts? It's up to you. You can either whine or you can win, but you can't do both. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. If it's getting to deal 1, we'll do that. We'll celebrate. Then we'll get you to 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then when we get to 5, we can have a real conversation. And the really cool thing is, I'm going on about 5 years of really doing this where for free 100%. And by the way, all my naysayers, me and Zach, you never keep up this business model. Okay. Dude, I've been doing this 23 years. You want to try to outlast me? I don't care what people say outside of this group. I only focus on what's best for wholesaling and what's best for you. Period. That's it. Because if I let everybody tell me how to run it, do you know there's an entire section of like this, the coaching community is, if you don't see it their way, you're dead to them. Okay. I was never alive to you anyways, unless I spend money with you. You know, there's entire people that say, if you don't pay me X amount of fee, I can never communicate to you. Okay. That's your choice. And it could be right, but that's not my philosophy. That's why me and Zach try to help everybody we humanly possibly can out in wholesaling. Why? Because I know what it's like to have the odds stacked against you. Guys, every one of you are a mark. If you want to believe it or not, there's entire groups that get together to figure out how to harvest the most profit from you. Instead of focusing on the product and the process and focusing on people over profit first, it's like, how can we get the most sales? Here's how you get the most sales in life. You treat wholesaling like a marathon. Anyone can look good as a sprinter. It's temporary. But if you truly want to look like a winner, go for the long haul. This is why I don't really sell coaching. It's not that I don't disagree with coaching. I just disagree in the process because I don't think there's full disclosure on any of it. And guys, the last thing we need to do is regulate the wholesale community, industry. If you are going to regulate anything, start with the coaching process first. Complete disclosure. What's their pass fail? Like how many students you have? What's the success rate? Or for God's sakes, give it away for free. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just how I feel about this. And I'm not going to change my beat of the drum no matter what anybody says. And I get it. Everybody can join up against me and Zach and say, no, you can't do it. I'm doing it, buddy. Like nothing like scares me. So guys, real quick, why we got it, before I go here, August 14th is the release of X-Lead 3.0. Dude, you better buckle up for this one. It's going to, I don't know how to tell you this. It's unbelievable. So it's been in the works for about 9 months and we always bring you value. We bring everything you can. I can't even tease it because I promised Zach and the team that we would make it a surprise. You're going to be blown away. We've made ginormous investments into the company. Everything we do, we put back in the X leads. And our goal is to be the biggest and baddest. And we are not exaggerating. You guys, everyone who said freewholesaling.com was going to be a joke, largest wholesaling course in the entire world, hands down, the most success. And I told you, I was on the mission to teach as many people about the gift of wholesaling, the ones that want to make it a must. And I'm well on my way to doing that. Why? Because I'm in this long run. Most wholesalers never make it past 3 years. Why? Because, I don't know, maybe they get into coaching or, listen, you can make a lot more money coaching. I'm not going to lie to you, but I've never seen really a happy wholesale coach because they always go on to do other things. It's up to you guys. You guys can make it. You can easily do it. August 14th, going to be the biggest reveal you've ever seen. I'm telling you, it's going to blow you away. The biggest question, we go, hey, Rick, are you going to change prices on it? Some of the stuff has to change. So if you get in beforehand, I will tell you this, I'm going to honor your price. That's just one thing me and Zach have, we've always rewarded loyalty. And listen, you don't need actually to be successful in wholesaling. I never made it a requirement today. I could easily do it, but it's not, because it's not right. But I will tell you, if you want to grow with your business, have one platform to do it all, it would be absolutely amazing. And it's, I just, I'm all about profit, guys. Don't get me wrong, but you got to put people first, and we have to do that. So I had a couple questions here I want to answer. Somebody said on here, I've been hearing more and more about iSpeed to lead. Kind of funny you said that. So I assume they're talking about PPL, pay per lead, and they're interesting. Let's just say it at that. So I'm not completely opposed to PPL, but what I would like to do, this is a great comment. This is why I've keyed it up here. I would like to dedicate a live stream. Check this out. Let's test them out. Let's maybe do some leads. And then I want to do a comparison. And to be fair, I want to take all the companies and show you how to compare a PPL company, because it's important. There's a lot of miscommunication out there. People are confused on ROIs. How many leads do I need? Where do the leads come from? Are all companies built the same? So let's check it out. I'm not saying yes or no, but if you guys would be interested in the live stream, let me know in the comments, and me and Zach can put one together. I think it'd be kind of pretty cool. So Jason, he did a 25K deal in his third month of mailing with Rick's probate system. And Jason's gone on to bigger and better things, but Jason started in the program, and I got to be honest, like, Jason never really complained. He just did it. And he goes, is it normal for this? And I liked how he always phrased things. In fact, me and Jason own a property together. I've got about 15, 20 of them out there, spread out there. And Jason, we're very, very close to harvesting the profit from that one. So I always tell people it takes some time. Jason will tell you, you got to commit, you got to run a marathon, and then we come back to the profit. Because that one, I believe, we got to talk about the probate on that one, Jason, but I'll get Tanya involved in the conversation. But I don't even know what the value on it is. Maybe, but we owe about 175, maybe 180, and I believe it's worth 240, maybe 250. I have no idea the condition. Anyways, Jason's been through the journey, and I've had thousands of people go through the journey of Jason. Jason's just a stand-up guy. I've met him in person multiple times. And by the way, we're going to do our live event in November. I think it's 13th, 14th. I'm going to confirm it. If you have the X plan, it's 100% free. We can sit here and we can go much deeper in these conversations. Let's see this. Tyler says, you're worried about saturation. Consider registered nurses in the country. There's almost 5 million of them, and each of them, every one of them could be literally work 24/7 if they wanted. That's a great point. My daughter started out as a nurse, so she's moved on to bigger and better things, but I think that's amazing. I have one other comment here. Dar says, you and Zach motivated me to lose over 120 pounds. Now I must redirect that discipline and motivation to wholesaling. I'm enthusiastic to start. I think that is awesome. Thank you so much for getting me fired up. And guys, that's the example of what just even talking about wholesaling and adapting the wholesaling philosophy, because I learned wholesaling first. I didn't lose the weight first. Mine was 60 pounds. I was a big guy though, so it wasn't quite as obvious, but it was there. Doesn't mean you see it, doesn't mean it's bad for you. And you can apply this to your finances and your business. You can apply this to your physical life. That's the next logical step, because you have to be here on this earth as long as possible. And then you apply it to your family and your faith, spiritual, whatever you want to do, because everything's an art. And guys, we were not put on this earth to work all day, but congratulations to Darth. I think that's awesome, because at some point he made a decision that he's going to be accountable. He's not going to make the excuses, and he took actionable steps. And he'll tell you that it takes a daily habit of restraining and putting crap in your mouth that doesn't belong there, because God knows food tastes good. But remember, your medicine is the food. So if you take medicine outside of food, you're whatever you got to do to get stable, but eventually you have to find a way to use food as your medicine. And processed food is definitely not the answer. So, guys, man, hold on, let me put it back here. So many questions here. Can you be the first to actually? So, guys, we will get grandfather. So whatever you bought in at X Leads is what we keep you at. So if you took one of the founding things when we did it, remember, I didn't sell you a coin. I didn't sell you an NFT because I did not want to wind up in court because nobody can even understand, because that's like evergreen and everything else. So if you bought X Leads and you got it originally, we honor your price. So if you did the yearly plan, if you renew it, you get the previous year's price. I'm not like Netflix where I just up everybody's price. If you stay and you have an active subscription, you keep the price the same. So it's really cool. I can't talk anymore about the features because I have to be fair. Let me trust me. It's going to be beyond worth it. If you thought the free skip tracing was cool, we're just going to add and build on it. You get the best value. Start at actually $97 a month. You can pull all your list. You can do the skip trace, 15,000 leads. And guys, you get the full go high level ninja mode with it. Make sure you guys join us for August 14th, because you are not going to want to miss out on that. So guys, who's going to carry the contracts? It's got to be you. If you can't get a deal after this live stream, I'm going to smack you upside the head. It's just a figure of speech. Please don't misquote me and do something like that. But guys, I believe in you. So I want you to win. Go over to freewholesaling.com. Everything's in there for you to get successful on it. I'm reading all the questions. Okay. So guys, it's on. We're going to have to do this PPL thing because I've avoided this way too long, and maybe I need to get in there and just rip the covers off. Maybe we need to get the owners on there and like, hey, show me the back door and everything like that. What if we did like a comparison? I don't know. iSpeed Elite, all these others. There's a million companies out there. Let's see who's really doing it and who's depending on it. Now, I don't want people starting out on PPL. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There are motivated sellers in there, but some of you don't have the money for it. So we have to get a foundation. But once you get a foundation, maybe it's an option for you. And I want you to understand that. So, okay. I'm going to go work on some real estate deals, guys. I appreciate you. I will see you on Thursday. Me and Zach will be back on here. And let's get connected. Let's talk wholesale.